On this edition of the Center of It All, we celebrate the Juniata River Valley's one-of-a-kind holiday, take a trip to the new downtown Sheetz Cafe, and cook up some classic fish tacos with Mel. These stories and more up next on the Center of It All. Welcome to the Center of It All. Christmas, Easter, or even President's Day may not fall this month, but September 29th isn't just any day for Central Pennsylvania. It's Goose Day. This year, the Juniata River Valley Chamber of Commerce celebrated by taking their monthly business after hours to Brookmere Winery.
Around Goose Day, we have a business expo where we bring in 15 to 25 different members who have an opportunity. They might not have a store or an office or a location where it works well to host an after hours. There's 21 vendors out there. They're all members of the Chamber of Commerce, and they could be from Juniata County, they could be from Mifflin County. We have members who are from Center County. So there's a wide variety of different things. But the real thing is, it's a very fun networking event every month.
But what exactly is Goose Day, and why is it so special?
Goose Day is only celebrated the way we celebrate it in Mifflin and Juniata counties, Pennsylvania. Only place in the world. Goose Day is very special to us. We've been celebrating it since 1786.
Goose Day's long history isn't the only reason it attracts a crowd.
The tradition goes that if you eat goose on September 29th, you won't want for money for the rest of the coming year, for 364 days. And then you have to eat goose again to make it, continue, of course, through your life. But how goose got into the deal, I understand, and don't you love this about legends? Everybody has a different story. The one I like is that Queen Elizabeth was dining on a goose dinner when somebody came in and announced that the English had beaten the Spanish Armada. She was so thrilled, she supposedly, right on that moment, proclaimed that every September 29th from then on shall be celebrated with a goose dinner.
The Chamber of Commerce isn't the only face behind Goose Day. The Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau works hard to keep the tradition alive.
We are the promotion side of the whole event, and at the beginning of September 1 in fact is my self-imposed deadline, we publish a page, this year it was 3 pages of events on our website. We consider ourselves champions of Goose Day, and basically what we do is a lot of talking about it. I start talking about Goose Day in February and asking people, businesses, football teams, school teams, churches, individuals, whatever, what are you going to do for Goose Day? And trying to encourage people to do an event, any kind of an event, as long as it's held on Goose Day weekend.
So if you couldn't make it to Goose Day, don't worry. The Visitors Bureau plans to expand the holiday throughout the Juniata River Valley community.
Just the name Goose Day kind of makes people smile. So we'd like to take it to the side that it makes it a really fun and entertaining event, and that it's not just about eating goose.
For more information on Goose Day, visit juniatarivervalley.org. When we come back, we explore State College's new Quick Stop restaurant. Welcome back. Downtown State College introduced its latest food craze this Monday, the Sheetz Cafe. Excited students and locals gathered on Pugh Street for the Sheetz grand opening ceremony.
I'd like to welcome you guys to 587 Sheetz State College opening.
Although the cafe is a change from the usual gasoline station, Sheetz has a long history in the food and beverage industry.
Well, our family business started in 1907, so that's like, 108 years ago. Our grandfather opened a dairy in Altoona. It's called Harshberger Dairy. My father actually had run a few dairy stores, just ways to sell the milk and ice cream that the dairy made. And in the early 50s, my brother Bob bought one of those dairy stores from my father and turned it into a Sheetz dairy store. And he operated a dairy store, selling mostly milk and ice cream, for many, many years before he converted the business into a delicatessen.
Sheetz transformed into the hundreds of gas station convenience stores we know today after a boom in the gasoline industry. This is the second time Sheetz is experimenting as a quick stop restaurant.
In its early concept, it was called the fuel-free store because we were going to actually open a store without gasoline for the first time. and see how the food and beverage, MTO and Sheets Brothers Coffee, could stand on their own. And we thought, wouldn't State College be an awesome opportunity to do that?
While still offering everything that can be found in a Sheets convenience store, the cafe has added a beer cave and seating that accommodates up to 144 people. Even better, this location is more convenient than past stores in the area.
All those stores that we had in State College, 5 of them, none of them were really ultra convenient for students. Students who didn't have transportation, didn't have a car with them. So we've had a lot of requests, had a lot of interest in a campus area location, and I'm glad we're here.
The downtown Sheets has been packed with customers for a week now. From the look of it, it's here to stay.
We operate around the clock. We never close. What they say about the key to the front door is it's missing because we never use it. We will never close the door here.
Thank you guys for coming. We're officially grand open.
Sheets will be donating 15% of all proceeds this week to Thon, Penn State's student-run philanthropy raising money to fight pediatric cancer. Up next, Germany's #1 folk festival is brought to State College.
Heaven, there is no beer, no beer. That's why we drink it here. When we're all gone from here, our friends will be drinking all the beer.
Happy Valley's annual version of Oktoberfest took place this week at Tussey Mountain Amphitheater. Guests purchased glass steins upon arrival to enjoy local and national brews.
Nice weather today, and came to drink some beer and have some German sausage.
Those who dressed in traditional lederhosen or Bavarian attire received $5 off admission.
I have some relatives over in Germany, and I go over to visit them usually every summer, and they bought this for me. If you have an outfit like this, you have to find places to use it, I guess.
Authentic fiddlers, bands, and local State College restaurants kept the night fun and full of fall celebration. Like Tussey Mountain on Facebook for yearly events and skiing hours, or visit tusseymountain.com. When we come back, Mel fries up a West Coast favorite. Welcome back to the center of it all. Looking to add some California flavor to your kitchen this week? Well, you're in luck. Mel's making beer-battered fish tacos with a spicy sriracha kick.
Even though I'm standing here in short sleeves today, fall has officially arrived in Happy Valley. That said, I'm happy to enjoy this warm weather for as long as it lasts because it allows me to enjoy all of my garden's goodies. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a southwestern slaw and some bold pico de gallo. I'm going to be serving both of those up on my batter-dipped, deep-fried fish tacos, too. Let's get started. Before we can make our tacos, we have to make our toppings. And the first one I'm doing today is our southwestern slaw. And I'm going to start by putting a half teaspoon of salt in the bowl, 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I'm using 2 tablespoons of jalapeno peppers to spice this up. And for the sweet part, 2 tablespoons of honey. Now I'm going to mix this all together. And if we weren't on camera, I'd probably let this sit for 5 or 10 minutes to allow the jalapenos to kind of work their magic in with the sweet and savory. Now I'm going to add some green onions. That's about 3/4 of a cup. 3/4 of a cup of cilantro. I am going to stir this together, get these all coated. Oh, that lime juice smells wonderful. I love the smell of fresh lime. And now we have our slaw. I'm using green cabbage and matchstick carrots, but feel free to use red cabbage if you like. It's about half a head, that's 4 cups. We're just gonna fold this together really well. Everything's gotta get coated in that dressing. And when it starts looking nice and shiny and really well mixed, get it in a few more tosses here. I'm going to set this aside to marinate for about 1 or 2 hours in the refrigerator. And what that's going to do is going to wilt the cabbage, and it's going to absorb all of that really sweet and sour flavor. It's going to be just fantastic as a topping for our tacos. Pico de gallo, also known as fresh salsa, is typically made simple and straightforward with 6 or 7 simple ingredients that come together and just pop in your mouth when you put it on top of something. So I have half a teaspoon of salt in the bottom of this bowl, and again, I'm going to add my lime juice to it to kind of get it to the flavors to come together. Jalapenos again, 2 tablespoons with 2 cloves of minced garlic. And just like we did for the slaw, if I weren't doing this on TV, I'd probably let this sit for 5 or 10 minutes to let those peppers work their magic. Now I've got 3/4 of a cup of yellow onion and 3/4 of a cup of cilantro. Stir this really well. And I'm going to add 2 cups of diced tomatoes. They're not peeled, they're not seeded. This is just a rustic, quick to make sauce. I have a mixture of plum tomatoes and cherry tomatoes today because that's what I have left in my garden. A quick stir here. And this is going to go into the refrigerator for a couple hours. And unlike the slaw, which can be kept a day or 2, pico de gallo is always best served the same day it's made. I'm making a third condiment today too because it's really commonly put on fish tacos out in the Baja region of California and Mexico, and it's called crema. And crema really is sour cream. It even says so right on their label. It's Mexican sour cream. It's probably a little sweeter than our American sour cream, but feel free to substitute American sour cream. And I'm using sriracha sauce, which a lot of people think is an Asian sauce, and it kind of is. But sriracha has an interesting history. It was invented in California, and the company is still based in California. So I have a half a cup of my crema, or sour cream, and I'm going to add, I like to put 4 tablespoons in. Sometimes I like to put 6 tablespoons in. And all I'm going to do is stir this around till it's completely smooth and incorporated. And then I am going to transfer this, which you'll see a little later on, to a squirt bottle, the kind, well, this type of a bottle, so that when it comes time to put them on the tacos, I can just drizzle it over nice and neatly. Stir this till it's smooth. That's looking really good. Our condiments are all made. I'm going to preheat my deep fryer, and when we come back, we're going to deep fry some fish. Now we're going to batter dip and deep fry our fish. So let's talk about the fish. I'm using cod because it's firm textured and it's meaty, it doesn't fall apart. And I've cut it into what I call fish sticks, into about 3.5-inch pieces. If I had to suggest a substitution, I would say grouper, mahi-mahi, or even sea bass would be wonderful. Now I've put, believe it or not, this is not flour. My dry dredge is pancake mix because it's got all of the leavening agents that you would have to mix in, or you'd have to go out and buy a bag of self-rising flour. So I've got a cup of pancake mix in one shallow bowl and another cup of pancake mix in a second shallow bowl. And for my batter dip, it's classic fish taco to do a beer batter. And I'm going to add a cup of beer to this pancake mix. And if you're thinking, oh, you don't want alcohol, well, think twice about this one, folks, because while you could use club soda, first of all, when the beer batter hits the deep fryer, all of the alcohol is going to go poof. But what the beer contributes to this is a really yeasty flavor that you cannot get anywhere else except for with a cup of beer. So I'm going to take a little whisk, and I'm just going to whisk this starting slowly until I get a nice, smooth, drizzly batter to form. This won't take long. And you can see how the bubbles have formed on top of that. That's why you want to use beer or club soda, because you want to keep this batter really light and airy. Oh, I'm thinking that's starting to look really good. Now, if at any time, if you're doing a whole lot of fish, if the batter starts to get a little too thick, just feel free to drizzle in some more liquid whenever you think you need it. I think that looks great. Okay, so what I'm doing is a dry dredge, and you have to do this part because it's going to dry the surface area of the fish, which is going to allow the batter to stick to it. If the fish is wet, the batter is just going to roll off. So I'm going to stick 3 pieces of dredged fish into my batter. Oh, that's looking good. Let's find our other one and our third one. Okay. Now my oil is preheated to 360 degrees. Peanut or corn oil will work fine. Olive oil will not. And what I'm going to do is one at a time, I'm going to pick these up. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I'm going to let the excess drizzle down. I'm going to drop that right into the hot oil. Next one in, right into the hot oil. Never overcrowd your fryer basket. Only do these maybe 3 or 4 at a time. I'm going to close the lid, and these are going to fry for 3 to 3.5 minutes, and I'm going to keep repeating that process until all of my cod is batter dipped and fried. I've got the last batch ready to come out of the deep fryer here, folks. And they are golden brown and super crispy, just the way they're supposed to be. I'm left-handed, so this is a little bit awkward for me on this side. And the only thing you have to remember to do with each and every batch is give them a grinding of salt the second they come out of the oil. And now we're going to make our tacos, and it's time to eat. Classically, fish tacos could be served on flour tortillas or corn tortillas. I like them both ways, except when I'm making deep fried tacos, I like the soft flour tortilla shell next to the crunchy batter dipped fish. When I'm making grilled or pan fried tacos, that's when I like to use my crispier corn tortillas. So what I've done is I've placed 2 pieces of fish, I call it kind of hot dog style, inside of my tortilla. We're going to top it with some of our slaw, which is sweet and savory from that honey and lime juice. And now for a drizzle of that crema. Oh, that looks wonderful. Then you just pick it up and eat it, and you can dip it in your pico de gallo or put your pico de gallo on top of your taco. The first time I ate a fish taco, the year was 1986, and I was in San Diego, which just happens to be the mecca of the fish taco. I fell in love with them, and I decided immediately to become a fearless fryer. I began serving them to my friends for Friday fish fry happy hours. Before I knew it, Mel's Kitchen was the Happy Valley mecca of the fish taco world. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
That's all for this edition of The Center of It All. If you have any interesting story ideas, I can be emailed at annecasper9@gmail.com. Thank you and have a great day.